Your news for the state of Tennessee in about 10 minutes. Tennessee in 10 starts now.
Good morning and thanks for joining us. We're starting with breaking news this morning. People are being told to evacuate as fire crews try to stop a bunch of brush fires that are burning in Sevier County. Steep and treacherous terrain is making it tough to contain the wind-fueled fires, and 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts are not helping the efforts. Right now, the Division of Forestry is working with fire crews to create a containment line. We do have pictures from the Seymour Volunteer Fire Department. They say at least 10 acres have burned there. 2 of the fires were sparked from trees that fell onto power lines. Arrests have been made in a shooting that killed a 2-year-old in Jackson. 2 of the 3 suspects are now behind bars. The shooting happened on November 26th. 5 victims were found inside of an SUV, 4 adults and a toddler. The 2-year-old later died. A 19-year-old was arrested shortly after. A second suspect was arrested yesterday and charged with murder. Officials are still looking for a third suspect. U.S. Marshals are offering a cash reward for information that leads to an arrest. The nation's highest court gathered yesterday in a fierce debate over transgender rights. The justices heard arguments over Tennessee's ban on gender-affirming care for minors. That ban was signed into law last year, and it bans medical professionals from providing care like hormone treatments, puberty blockers, and gender reassignment surgeries to anyone under the age of 18. Opponents argue the bill violates the Constitution's Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. This includes State Representative Afton Bain. She believes the choice should be left to families and doctors, not lawmakers.
This culture war versus ensuring that families and kids have the health care that they need and that the decisions are between them and their medical professionals. And we just have to disagree that politicians should be involved in those decisions.
Well, Tennessee Attorney General Jonathan Skrmetti says the procedures are harmful to kids. He says the long-term health effects outweigh the benefits the treatments could provide. Skrmetti leaned on recent restrictions from other countries as he made his argument to the courts.
Over and over, systematic reviews have shown little to no benefit of these treatments for kids. That's why many European countries that pioneered the use of these treatments for kids have recently reversed course and severely restricted them.
Well, people from Tennessee were at the Supreme Court, including Eli Givens, the Williamson County organizer for the Tennessee Equality Project. Givens was one of 48 people who were let into the courtroom. Givens even spent their 20th birthday there at the hearing.
Our Tennessee folks did an amazing job at rallying and making their arguments very, very clear that trans youth deserve to have the health care they desire. And yeah, it was just a really wonderful experience, and I'm very grateful that we got to be on the ground for that.
The Supreme Court is expected to announce its decision by July of next year.
First thing I thought, this close to Christmas, there's a lot of people not going to be getting their presents and packages.
A massive fire ripped through this Tennessee UPS facility, disrupting deliveries. This happened about an hour northeast of Chattanooga. The building, 24 delivery trucks, and countless packages were damaged or destroyed in the fire. UPS says it's working to deliver packages that were not impacted. They're also working on a contingency plan to continue to be able to deliver. The Memphis and Memphis Police Department engaged in civil rights violations. The Justice Department says they violated the U.S. Constitution. The investigation found police used excessive force and conducted unlawful stops, searches, and arrests. They also found police unlawfully discriminated against black people when enforcing the law, and the city and police unlawfully discriminate in their response to people with behavioral health disabilities. A Tennessee state senator is facing serious charges out of Georgia. State Senator Ken Yeager was arrested Tuesday night for DUI and hit and run. Yeager is a Republican from Kingston. A police report says he was pulled over on Jekyll Island. Troopers say Yeager admitted he was involved in a crash and then failed a field sobriety test. Yeager sent us a statement saying he can't speak on what happened, but called it an unfortunate incident. Well, 13 people are in custody in connection to Nashville's largest meth bust ever. Metro Police and the TBI say the operation spanned from California all the way to Tennessee. All of the drugs that were intercepted, look at this, laid out on a table. Officials say all of this adds up to more than 800 pounds of crystal meth and more than 24 pounds of fentanyl. It's estimated that 5.5 million lives may have been affected by having the drugs on the streets. Metro's police chief says that the main suspect is from California and is known to have traveled to Nashville as early as September. Investigators say the suspects would have items delivered to homes of unsuspecting residents, and then the packages would be snatched after delivery trucks drove away. Kia and Hyundai thefts have gotten so bad that the city of Memphis is now planning to sue. The city says that the thefts are impacting city resources. Police say they're responding to more calls about Kias and Hyundais being stolen than any other brand of car. And they say the numbers aren't even close. Both Kia and Hyundai started pushing software upgrades in February of last year. With the upgrades, the cars will only start if the owner's key or an identical duplicate is in the ignition. New data shows that splash pads are associated with waterborne diseases. According to the CDC, there have been 60 outbreaks across the country, with nearly 11,000 cases and 150 hospitalizations. We've even seen some of these outbreaks here in Tennessee. The CDC says most happened in the summer months, and kids would get sick from accidentally drinking water. Now, the chlorine is supposed to block the issue, but the parasite impacting children is resistant to the chlorine. According to the CDC, there have been 2 outbreaks in Tennessee. Both were at splash pads. In 2014, at least 5 people got sick from a strain of salmonella. The 2021 outbreak involved 22 people. They got sick from a parasite. First Alert meteorologist Stefano DiPietro is joining us with a look at much colder temperatures today, Stefano.
It is another big blast of Arctic air for the entire state. I mean, really noticing that this morning. The temperature's been falling all morning long, and I'll tell you what, it's not going to rebound much for the remainder of our day today. Now, we'll have great sunshine, but most of us will end up near, if not below, freezing this afternoon. And this doesn't factor in the wind, which will gust up to about 20 to 25 miles per hour, making it feel more like we're sitting in the teens and really at best into the low 20s. Tonight will be even colder. More of us are falling down into the teens by tomorrow morning, definitely with a calmer wind too. Some widespread frost to start off the day. The afternoon will stay chilly, but a little bit warmer than today. Good sunshine, 30s across the board tomorrow afternoon. Looking way ahead to the end of the weekend and early next week. Remember, we are tracking a good round of rain that'll settle in late Sunday, but really the more widespread rain Sunday night and right through that morning commute on Monday. So start maybe thinking now about a messy morning commute for early next week, Amanda.
All right, good heads up. Stefano, thanks for joining us for Tennessee in 10. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning with a look at the big stories from across the state. Have a great day.
This is Tennessee in 10, streaming your news and weather across the state in about 10 minutes.